Well, it's interesting you just mentioned that thing about big data. We've struggled with the same issues with what actually defines big data, whether it's
Right.
many pieces of information or large pieces of information. For years, the NGA has actually been dealing with what we would consider large data,
Right.
which were enormous data files, in the gigabyte range, images of that size. It's very different when you're engineering a system to deal with large data, in terms of throwing images around at that scale and size, as opposed to dealing with many little small bits of information. However, I think in general, the NGA is working with the Director of National Intelligence to try to make use of the environment that was given to us by them, and going to try to cope with the new way of doing business. That traditionally we have been an agency which takes data in the form of imagery and hands it to people to try to work with, and they would look at it. Well, there's two fundamental changes that are coming, in the world that we need to cope with. The first of that is that the internet is here. It looks like it's going to stay, and now we have millions or perhaps even billions of images and other geospatially tagged bits of information that transit the internet every day, and we need to be able to make use of some of that information. It's public, it's open source. In addition to that, there's you mentioned the satellite going up. There's multiple satellites coming up in private industry. So many that it's going to dwarf the amount of satellite information that we've had in the past. That in the past there's been a small number of nationally owned satellites. Now in the commercial industry, there's a plan for more than 200 Earth imaging satellites that are coming up within the next decade.
Wow.
What that means is you can no longer do the same. You can't operate with the same paradigm anymore, where you take the imagery down, quickly disseminate it to a bunch of people who look at it.
Right.
When you get a 200-fold increase in the amount of imagery and a 1,000-fold increase in the amount of data that's transiting the internet, unless you have 200,000 times as many people to be able to analyze that, you're fundamentally broken.
You're going to need sophisticated business analytical tools.
Exactly.
It's,